everybody. Welcome to Dorks Are Dangerous, Chronicle 3, Session 3. I am your DM, Kaylee, and I am joined by my wonderful cast of players. Please introduce yourself, wonderful cast of players.
I am Johnny. I will be playing the part of Edmund.
I'm Dave, and I will be playing the part of Ryan Thal, also known as Ryan.
I am Sunnyside James, and I am playing Shelton Bones.
And I'm Bruce, playing Kenneth.
Fantastic. Well, now that we've all reintroduced ourselves, why don't we do a quick recap? And I'm going to call on Johnny and Bruce this week.
Not it. Oh, damn it. Too late.
Fair. Well, we had the big battle, of course, and then afterwards we jumped into some investigative fact gathering. We were working with the Viceroy to try and gain some information.
We found some writing on the wall from the underground, or it says, Crown Master, your name is unknown, but underground, your deeds are immortal. So that's the clue. And it was done in oil that was dyed to look like blood, which is also fairly interesting. And that's kind of where we were at when we left off.
Yeah, that was odd. The other part, there was a comical bit where Shelton tried to steal the Viceroy's ring. Almost got away with it.
He would have got away with it for you damn kids and your dog.
Yeah, meddling.
It's 2022. We gotta update it,
I suppose. But back to the underground thing. They were implicated in about half a dozen or a dozen things, including something that happened in our other Chronicle 20 years ago.
Man, time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yeah, for sure. I guess we'll dig in and see what happens with those accusations. And what else?
What else happened? Ryan Thal went off with the Viceroy to view the surveillance footage that we've now discovered exists here,
which is awesome. Yeah, and but of course that's unbeknownst to our characters, so we'll see how that all comes into play too. That was really about it. I mean, as far as the session went.
And fighting big robot monsters.
Well, there was that.
That's secondary.
There was that, the cleaving and the investigation of the he was a half-orc, I think.
Yes.
And found some sort of extra mechanical device or something attached to his skull.
That we feel is part of the mind control that caused him to go haywire.
Exactly. I think that was about it.
Yeah, if we miss anything,
highlights anyway,
you should have listened to session 2.
Speaking of which, you should go check that out before you watch this one. But whatever word fits your fancy. Anywho, let us get started. And thank you, Bruce and Johnny, for the recap. So, back where we left off, as was stated in the recap, Ryan Thal, we're going to come to you first. You are with the Viceroy, and you've just seen the footage of the day basically before everything went haywire with Daru. What would you like to do? You're still in that room, by the way.
So one of the first bits is Ryan Thal is going to call attention to and basically say, Viceroy, when Daru was heading downstairs, he approached a door, tried to open it, and it seems the door was barred. This was right before he went down into the staging area to get ready for the fight. What's behind that door?
That door is a passageway that leads down into the council rooms of the Region 3. It's a private chamber. It is locked, and only certain servants and myself are allowed in there without an appointment.
I see. So it looks like an attempt was made to try to perhaps go into the council and eliminate the Region 3 before the tech demonstration, as it were.
Potentially, yes. That might have been the preferred path to be discreet, but obviously that did not work out.
Yes, and as far as the Can you look through the footage? There were an additional 2 guards that went with Duru when he went into the Polo district. When they were they were in the training yard, and Duru and 2 other guards went with him. Who are those 2 guards? Where are they? Do they show up when the footage is returned? Can we identify them and get them under lock immediately?
You see him wave his hand over the scrying liquidized mirror. The faces of the 2 guards that you mentioned come into view, and you see them like do almost a 360 profile of them. And he goes, "This one on the left, that is Charles, I believe." And as soon as he questions the name on the scrying mirror, it actually like prints out his name, Charles, Lieutenant. And the other one is Topak, and shows a halfling, and his title sends out he's also a lieutenant. Yes, we can get them under lock and key soon. It may take a minute to find where they're at. And he actually says something in Dwarvish, and the mirror moves, and you see like blips of sections of the city start popping up, and it seems to almost be their security route as it's trying to locate. And he's like, "Huh, they're not showing up. I'll send out word to the rest of the guard to go look for them immediately."
Wait, before you send word to the guard, I mean, it should be noted, they went with Duru into a dark alley outside of the camera range, and then he came back with a helmet on. It seems that would be the most likely point of ingress where he was taken over, if you will. If Charles and Topak are found, they are most likely not in control of their own faculties. They are most likely under the same level of control as Duru. You need to make that clear that these are not their friends anymore. These are individuals who need to be armed and dangerous and need to be taken into custody by force, and with all caution.
You are right. And I do not know, speaking to that, we might not be able to trust the guard anymore, as they are going under question. I will send out the soldier clockwork instead. And you see him say something in Elvish to the effect of "seek," and you see a bunch of red dots start lighting up on the side of the mirror, about four or five of them, and they start moving across a tinier version of the world map or the city map in the corners, and start heading into the city in a search.
Yes, as for the rest of the guard, it is also fair to say we don't know how many of them have been compromised, and as much as I hate to treat loyal servants as if they might be traitors, I think at this point we need to, well, I think all of the guard need to, as we know, this device is something that was on Duru's head. It was hidden by a helmet. It's suddenly very unfortunate that all of your servants and staff have to wear masks and helmets all the time. I believe for sake of secrecy, you agreed to inspect the servants. I think we should have the guards do a full lineup and make it clear that they should be fully dressed down. Skivvies only, no helmets, no armor. We need to be absolutely sure that they are not wearing anything, any kind of control devices that might be hidden underneath armor. But yes, I think that would be the next thing. Have the guards line up unarmored somewhere where we know that they'll be relatively safe, or at least relatively unable to do damage, so that we can do a quick inspection and make sure that they aren't altered in any way. As far as actual treachery, we can worry about that later. I don't suspect that that's the current concern. The current concern is this mind control device, rather than these actually being turncoats amongst your ranks.
You see him contemplating your words, and there is definitely worry there. He's not hiding it well. This has been a very taxing ordeal. And he goes, "The dungeons would likely be the best place to put them, but we'll need to do it systematically. I've mentioned before, we don't have a large garrison force. It is mostly the clockwork soldiers, but we have guards as well. And they're probably out in the city still locking it down. So this will take me some hours, but yes, we can make sure they are secured and dealt with." And you can see he doesn't like saying that. There's a hint of like guilt on his face, that he just doesn't want to treat them like suspects, but he knows he has to. What else do you need in the meantime
So-
as this is happening?
Not to overstep, but we should talk about the security of the Region 3. I mean, it's obvious that you don't have even basic precautions to prevent them from getting injured, which is unfortunate. It would have been rather easy to set up some sort of fail-safe inside of that chamber so that should something go awry, they'd be able to have a quick exit. Where are they currently held? How confident are you in the security measures that are currently in place to prevent this from happening again, should there be another assassin waiting?
He looks and says, we did have security measures in place to keep that from happening. That magic was extremely powerful. That protected the upper levels from the bottom. The whole entire Great Hall base level was supposed to flood with lava should something go awry. And that did not happen. Instead, the magic broke and we could not trigger the failsafe.
Well then, let's talk about how that could have happened. It seems... I mean, you're talking about something rather powerful, but sounds like an artifact that was used to control Duru may have been insufficient. Would you agree?
Are you saying that the item to control Duru is insufficient, or the
Oh,
magic?
sorry. That the magic that was being used to control Duru does not sound like a powerful enough artifact to have broken down those failsafes.
No, I suspect it was our guest that had broken in alongside him, the one who wrote the message.
Well then, I would say perhaps as you're gathering up the guard for inspection. I assume, was this all done by the Clockwork Master, or are there any others who are familiar with the intricacies of how those mechanisms work? Perhaps if we, maybe we can have some discussions about how those objects work and how someone could have exploited a vulnerability there, if that's, it sounds like quite the magical disruption, so to speak. I'm not familiar with many things that could do that, but I'm also unfamiliar with your magical canisters that seem to be able to prevent magic as well. I assume that the Galashank unit that has the ability to basically prevent magic from being done to it with some sort of anti-magic fluid was most likely designed by the same individual who put the failsafes in place. And most likely that technology is somehow linked to specific vulnerabilities that may be different than normal arcane works such as we're familiar with elsewhere.
He thinks a moment, nods. The Region 3, myself, and alchemist Mortimus Grenshi will be the ones will need to investigate what happened there. This will also take time, but not as much time as collecting the soldiers, which will be done by all the guardians. Unfortunately, will need to be input there. Give me till either later this evening or till the morning to make sure all that is secure, make sure I can get a hold of Grinchi, and I should have something for you in the morning in regards to how the magic was failed.
In the meanwhile, I think maybe another covert method for the Region 3 may be in order. I'll leave you to figure that out, such that I don't have any secrets myself, but perhaps having them disguised as servants and mixed into the gambit, or I don't know, locked away in rooms or something privately such that they won't be found. I do think this would be a good time to get them essentially under lock and key out of sight and otherwise anonymous to prevent them from being the targets of another assassination attempt while we're figuring things out.
Make an insight check for me real quick.
1 second, I'm not in Roll20.
How dare you?
Although it was a 16.
16? Okay, that's good enough. Out of everything that is happening, he doesn't seem particularly concerned about additional measures to hide the Regent 3 and therefore the Clockwork Master. He's taking your word seriously, but he doesn't seem as concerned about that. But he goes, yes, additional measures will be made to ensure their safety. You can rest assured of that. Is there anything else we need to discuss before I send out the call? This is going to incite a lot of concerns in the city, so if you're going to venture out, keep your medallions on you, but you might want to put them away.
Well, I suppose other than, the whole city's currently going into lockdown, but as far as, rounding up all the guards and servants, what do you anticipate from the common folk? I'm sure the average rank and file citizens are probably not going to be too pleased about seeing your mechanized units marching through the city.
No, they are not. I think we will have a few hours before anything untoward takes place, but as soon as they see more units in the street, there's a chance of riot, there's a chance of looting, there's a chance more fighting in the Laves specifically will take place. And the Dolo district will lock itself down with concern over the citizens of the Laves.
Well, then, I don't suppose you have a PR department or any of the sort that would be able to maybe find a better way. I wonder if we could somehow turn this or make some sort of public announcement so the citizens think it's for their own safety rather than for your ruling elite, so to speak.
That's what the alarms were for in the lockdown. They stated that everyone needs to stay indoors or stay close to home. Don't roam the streets alone. There is going to be home checks to ensure that anyone suspicious is not being harbored, that their children are safe. The children are to be sent to the boarding schools if they aren't fit to stay at home, in the Laves especially. Those houses are not secure. But yes.
I see. Is there any kind of news source or anything of that nature? Any, I don't know, anywhere that people might get their information?
The towers in each district do send out the message. It's a amplified sending message that goes out through a speaker. They hear it there. The guards will be relaying the messages as they receive them via their sending stones inside their that are attached to the earring on their ear. So they will relay the message. The guards will broadcast it. The clockwork guards will broadcast it as they walk through the streets. So
yeah, so I'm thinking more of unofficial locations. So currently everybody's being locked to their homes, not really going to run into any taverns, business places at this point. Is there anyone
whatever
who might have
building
any?
they can go into. If they can't get home quickly, they can go into the businesses.
I see. I think it may behoove us, I think, to well, I'll let you know plainly what my thoughts are and see if there's some way we can organize this, is to send maybe one of the delegates from this assemblage, maybe send out one of the guards, perhaps one of your servants if they go home at any regular intervals. Thinking maybe it'd be good to spread the rumor that this underground terrorist organization maybe did some sort of attack on a common area or something that would injure or harm the common folk, rather than making it seem like up here in the tower you are all under attack and we're making lives difficult for the common folk. Maybe make this seem as if the targets of our search, so to speak, are in fact the aggressors towards the people rather than just you.
Right.
So my thinking is to send a messenger out, send some sort of rumor mill, so to speak, or send some individual to go out and just happen to mention at a tavern that they heard about this act of terrorism that took place, say, in a church or something of that nature. Or an orphanage. Do you have orphanage? Something that'll make the people feel aligned with your goals here.
Yes, we will send one of the Zollern servants after hours, outside of their normal attire so they're not recognized, to send these rumors. You are correct, that is a good way to settle the minds, at least give them a common goal. We will also alert the churches to assist with any matters that they can. We will... the orphanages...
Actually, that would be perfect. Why don't we send a message out specifically to all of the churches and religious buildings, saying that they should be particularly on high alert, keep their doors barred, etc. Not giving any details, but let's just maybe give additional warnings to any religious house of worship.
That is a good call. And also, yes, there is an orphanage here. We will ensure that the children are safe and taken to a more secure location. We might even provide
Yes.
them with a passage to the Zolland Keep.
Ah, perfect, perfect. Of course, they're not in any real danger, but they don't need to know that. Wonderful. Well, I think with that, with everything in order, it sounds like the next thing to do is simply wait. So I'll leave you to your large task of responsibilities. Shall me and the others, shall we wait in our chambers until you have news, or would you prefer for us to simply wait at the muster point or in the dungeon as the guards file in? Where would you prefer me wait?
He looks up to the scry mirror and he throws it up, like his hand up on it again. And you see dots of the other members. You see Kenneth, Edmund, and the Archmedulus walking along a corridor, and you see another blip that says Agna and walking as well. They're following that little blip. And he goes, "That's peculiar, but your associates are coming down this way. It looks like they're heading to the second floor. Why?" And he's like, "Why are they with my daughter?" And so all of a sudden you see him hit another blip and a name Evany pops up. She turns green. The light, instead of like being a gray, turns green. And she starts heading to intercept. Go meet up with your compatriots. See what they wish to do. I give you and your compatriots full reign to move about the castle as you see fit, within reason. And if you must go into the city, I would urge to have guard with you, but if you are going to be discreet about any activities you wish to pursue, you may not want to take one.
I see. I also see you are able to notify or indicate to some folks within the keep immediately. Do you happen to have any devices, any sort of communication, things of that nature, so that you can reach me or my compatriots a bit more quickly? Or can that be done through the medallions?
The medallions are purposely for tracking those who will come and go from the keep. We should have some spare earrings. And
Perfect.
so I will see to getting those to you promptly.
Wonderful. All right, then. I'll go see what those fellows are up to, and we'll talk soon.
He nods to you, escorts you out of the security room, back towards the main hall, bids you adieu, and goes back the way he came towards that security room again to finish his tasks.
All right. And then, I go off to head over to where the other folks are at.
Okay. It doesn't take you long. It's a quick jaunt towards the Great Hall area, that corridor that meets. You see them just as they're passing you, as they're coming out of the Great hallway. And everyone else, you see Ryanthal coming down from a different direction.
I nod to him as I'm pushing Agnes' wheelchair. Like, did you find anything, my friend?
I'll nod and say, well, I don't suspect it's anything terribly surprising. It would seem, I kind of looked at Agnes, and then I'll look back up and say, yes, it would seem little additional information at this point. We have much to do, and I think wheels are in motion for us to get a lot more information very soon. We'll talk on this more perhaps later.
Excellent.
Agna looks up to you, Ryanthal.
Are you gonna go help catch the bad guys who did this to Daru as well?
That's quite the plan, yes. Catch or stop? Yes, indeed. It's I think at this juncture, I think it's the utmost priority for all of us here that we identify and put an end to whatever is going on to your dear friend.
She nods and goes,
Okay, well, we're gonna go get my my pearl power. We need to go upstairs though.
and she looks back at Evan.
You don't have to keep pushing me when we get up the stairs if you don't want to. I appreciate it though.
Very well. Look confused, but She's obviously more powerful than we are, so I trust her.
So yeah, you guys, if you all want, unless Keeneth or Shelton, if you want to do something real quick.
Nope. I'm just gonna kind of go whichever way my friends are going.
Okay.
Yeah, same. Just following along.
Okay. So you guys get to a set of stairs, and it's almost like a big 3 people wide set of stairs. Goes to the second level of this keep, and you see her hit a little switch on the side of her chair, and speak something in Dwarvish. I don't know if any of you can speak Dwarvish, but and all of a sudden, the little contraptions that are like attached to her chair that almost look like spokes come out, and there's just 4 of them. They're like little stilts, and they raise her up, and she starts walking up the stairs on these stilts in her wheelchair very steadily. They don't wobble at all. It's a little bit slow, but she does manage to get to the top of the stairs without issue. And go ahead.
Well, a little taken aback, but follow her up.
Let me see if she's once they get to the top, she goes,
Oh, my dad made this for me when I was younger. I had a hard time walking as a little kid. Just got worse. He's really talented.
as she's making small talk with you, walking. You do see a servant that you've seen before. It is a woman with short blonde hair. She wears the traditional red robes of a servant of the keep, but she does not wear a mask. Pale features, bright eyes, and she goes, Agna, what in the heavens? As she comes up and goes, you can't sneak off on me like that.
She goes, sorry, I just wanted to help.
It's like, what are you doing? What are they doing? What is going on? And she looks to all of you four. Like, what is happening here? 4 grown men, quote unquote, with a small child upstairs.
Way to make it sound creepy. We're all just
That's how she
fatherly
feels.
figures.
That's how she feels about it. So,
Agna seems to have something that would help us greatly in closing in on those responsible for what happened to Daru. We're escorting her to her room to make sure nothing happens. She retrieves it for us.
I see. And she looks down at Agna with a little bit of a cocked eyebrow. Well, far be it from me to stop our beloved daughter of the Viceroy from doing what she wants. Agna bows her head. I guess it can't be helped. I assume you have the proper permissions from the Viceroy to move about the castle as you see fit, and she looks to all of you for confirmation.
Yeah, and Ryanthal kind of steps in and says, yes, we're working closely with the Viceroy at the moment, so we are basically gave us full reign of the castle grounds.
Well, that explains why you're not kicked inside your rooms yet. Very well. Where are we going? Agnes says to the room, and you continue on. You head towards the back of the keep. You're on the 2nd floor, and as you're walking back there, you are passing your quarters, your rooms, and then you go past them. Another set of corridors. Looks like they lead to the servants' quarters. They're smaller, not as well obtained from what you can see down that hallway. It's less pretty. In the far back of the keep, you see a giant archway, and you see the glow of plant life and strange bioluminescent or fluorescent rocks. But you just see glimpses of that as she turns to the right and opens a door. In here, it is not so much a bedroom, but like almost a child's study room where they would hang out outside of their place, and it is filled with books. It is top ceiling to floor books and astrology charts and little tiny tinkering inventions with some tools on a nice ornate bench. And you see her cat, quote unquote, in the middle of the room playing with the Pearl of Power, pawing it around. And when it notices you come in, it goes, meow. It continues to play with the Pearl of Power.
Whiskers, stop it. You need to give that to me.
And without hesitation, the cat picks it up in its jaws, like unhinges its jaws and picks up this pearl power, trots over, and looks up at the four of you expectantly.
He doesn't bite.
I think Ryanthal reaches down and says, "I've seen much worse than this," and just goes to scratch the little adorable kitty underneath its unhinged, creepy jaw.
It purrs, closes its eyes.
Takes the pearl and hands it over to, I'm blanking on Edmund. Takes the pearl, hands it over to Edmund.
I nod in my appreciation, and may I focus on this here as I attune to it for a moment?
Of course, yeah.
And since you're kind of in the doorway, there is so much stuff on the floor. Like, there are track marks of, like, where her wheelchair can go in the floor, but there's not many places to stand in the room. But she's like, yeah, of course.
All right, I find a place to sit down, and I will attune to this pearl of power.
All right, perfect. What are the rest of you doing? As he sits, how long is it going to take to attune? About an hour? I actually didn't look that up.
I think it's an hour.
I'm looking. Hang on. Yes, an hour. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, what are the three other of you doing?
Shelton just looks at Ryan and is kind of like scooting over closer to him, just like inching and like inching and inching just to get closer to him, and he's just gonna like do what he does.
So creepy.
I was gonna say, we buddies, or are you stealing from me this time?
What? No. We're buddies.
Perfect. I think Ryan is gonna say, Agnes, thanks for the help. I think I might try something a little fun. Have you ever flown before?
It's Agna, but no, I've never flown before.
Alright, well, this only lasts for a short while, but I think it'll be a new fun experience for you, just for a few moments before we, while we're waiting for my friend here. And, we just gotta put my hand on her shoulder and cast Fly, and let her fly about the room for 10 minutes.
And as you do that, you hit the fly button. Are you doing, like, you're doing on her specifically?
Yeah.
Okay. She she reaches under her shell because she starts to fly, but the chair like starts to come with her, and she reaches under her blanket that she has and unties like a rope so that she's no longer attached to the chair, and she starts floating. Her robes are excessively long; they're hiding much of her, and you just see her face fill with such joy and excitement, and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm flying!" And then Ebony's having a heart attack in the corner. She's like, "Be careful! Watch out for the wall! Don't hit the shelf! Oh my god!" And she's like chasing her around the room a little bit, like kind of fretting. But Agna is just in pure bliss.
Shelton gets in the wheelchair and starts trying to operate it.
You sit down in the wheel. How heavy is Shelton?
Not very heavy.
Not like he's got fat.
He's all skin and bones. So
Yeah, it's all skin and bones. It barely weighs anything.
Okay. It's a real tight fit, but you start messing with it, and you hit the lever. You don't know the word that she used. You can try and sound it out if you want to see if you can make an Arcana check for that, or a History check.
We're gonna do a. They're both -1, so we're just gonna do a history check so I can remember. There's a 3.
You say something so obscenely that even like Agna blushes. Goes, "Oh,
That's a naughty word."
Well.
And you sit in the chair. It's like I said, it's a real tight fit even for you, and it doesn't do anything other than sit there as you yank on the lever a bit.
He stands back up, just his head down. He just scoots back over to Ryan.
Agnes sees this and goes,
If you wanted to try it, you just, say, walk.
and she says that word in Dwarvish to you.
He immediately gets back in the chair and says it.
And as it says it, the spokes spring to life, 4 of them, and you are suddenly about another 2 feet off the ground, and it stands there for a second.
He's just living his best life.
Love it. And it'll walk around the room if you mess the lever a little bit more. So
He's full on messing with the lever.
perfect.
Or a key.
A key?
Yeah, like turn it on.
No.
Oh, okay.
She never turned it off. So it's another. You've heard her say a few doors words to like get things moving. So it would not be a far-fetched to assume you would think she's using a magic word to activate it.
Okay, I just didn't know if there was like a key, like an on and off key.
Nope.
Like a car.
Nope. And it's mostly wood with some metal pieces to keep it like secure.
Okay.
Bruce.
Hey, Ryan, you really got to try this.
I think Ryan looks and says, actually, I would be quite interested to learn a bit more about that device maybe later. I'm glad to see you're having fun with it. Seems like you've really taken to it.
He wants to keep it.
I guess at this, Ryan's gonna. So, knowing what everybody's doing, I think Ryan's gonna look over to Keenith and see what Keenith's doing as all this banter is happening around him.
He's just actually pretty much ignoring everything that you are doing. He's more interested in finding out if Edmund is making any progress, but mostly looking around the room to see if there's anything of note. Not looking for anything to Kype, of course, but looking more for anything either of clockwork nature or possibly that even shouldn't be there.
So, as you're looking around the room, go ahead and make a investigation check for me. Okay. Nothing immediately, like, out of the ordinary catches your eye, but you do see a lot of books are on, like, right next to her, like, little workbench table. She definitely is working on something there. There are copper pieces, wires, a couple of gems and crystals, pliers, all kinds of little tools. But next to it is a stack of books, and they've been like rearranged in a very specific way. They've all been bookmarked next to this desk.
Agna, it would appear that you are investigating something. Are you working on a project of some kind?
She hovers in the air for a minute, looks at you, looks over at the desk.
Oh, yeah, so I've been really interested in Dad's work and with the Clockwork Master and the Regents and the Alchemists down in the Zollern area. And I thought I could maybe help him and with it.
And she kind of flutters down to closer to the ground, but stays elevated. And she pulls a couple of books from her pile, and she shows you a book that says on the neck of it, Pattern Analysis of Transmuted Minerals. She then pulls another book of the element of iron. She has a couple of base books, but the biggest one she shows you is Manuscript of a Hollow Paladin.
And she goes, this one is something that Dad wrote with the Clockwork Master when they were creating the soldiers. I was hoping to try and help him improve on the design. They're kind of clunky and not very nice. If you want to take a look, you're welcome to.
That would be fantastic. Thank you. I was hoping to possibly glean a little information or knowledge about how all the gears and everything interacts and works. So that's... Yes, thank you. He just picks it up, starts thumbing through it.
She nods. And then all of a sudden you see her go,
Ebony, can you go see if lunch is ready yet? I'm kind of hungry.
and Ebony goes, you mean dinner? And she's like,
Oh, and she looks at the crystals. Yeah.
and Ebony kind of decides and goes, don't hurt yourself. And then she looks over at Sheldon, and don't break that. We don't have a spare. And leaves the room. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Be safe. And leaves the room.
Sounds like, she always like that?
Agna waits a second and goes,
Yes, unfortunately, Dad thinks I need a babysitter.
Oh, man. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's nice. There's not many kids in the castle, so.
When was the last time you were in the city?
she looks a little sad and kind of looks down and goes,
It's been a little while since Mom, but it's okay. I make little friends all the time.
and she goes underneath the desk and pulls out a box, and you see she's actually brings out a bunch of little clockwork toys, little machines. She's got a little dragon, she's got a beetle, she's got a little figurine of a person.
Shelton looks at everybody else and goes, sneaking out city montage? As like pointing his finger guns at them.
What do you have there? What are you thinking?
Well, I think. I mean, he did say we could go into the city. He didn't say we couldn't take her.
I would say that certainly one of us hoisting a small child up on their shoulders as if it's their own would be a rather good disguise. If we wanted to be incognito, certainly carrying about a child would be, I mean, no one's going to expect that you're a rough and tumble delegate from another nation here to do a war agreement or a trade agreement for war toys. I think this is, that seems rather disarming.
She looks so excited, so it's just like, really? We can?
I think we can.
Oh, if you guys wanna get out of the castle without Dad knowing, I can help with that.
I think that definitely perks Ryan's interest and says, actually, if I can ask another favor, certainly if you can show us how to go in and about without your father noticing, that would be very, very valuable information.
Of course, yeah. But what I wanted to talk to you about,
and she kind of looks out the door, like goes and flies over, looks out the door real quick, and then shuts it.
So I'm kind of concerned about Daddy. I know this has been real scary and a lot of things happen to Rue, but Dad's been gone a lot more and locked up in his study, and I think it has something to do. Well, it does have something to do with the convention, but you don't. But that thing on Daru's head, that's not something Daddy would make, and I'm scared someone's gonna blame him.
Who do you think might make it?
Well, there are a lot of alchemists and smiths in the city, so I'm not sure, but I do know a lot of people in the Laves don't like Daddy after the last Exodus about 5 years ago. Well, not 5 years ago. That was the when the issue happened, but he's been real controlling of when people can leave the city now.
And she suddenly looks at all of you like, maybe she shouldn't share this?
Well, how much
Okay.
history do you guys know about Diarden?
Absolutely zero.
Oh, okay.
If anyone wants to make a history check, you're welcome to, but with Sheldon saying that, she is going to divulge some information.
I think Ryanthal is going to say, well, I think I might know a bit, but certainly hearing about it would not hurt.
Okay. Well, as you know, Diarden didn't always used to be a city. It actually, per the history books,
And she points to one of the shelves, and there's like 15 different volumes on the history of Diarden and its resources and how it came to be in the world, etc. All of them well loved and well dented. She goes,
and when it was being, people would come and go between the kingdoms back when the kingdom was still very new and almost not even really a country yet. A lot of smugglers and enslavers would hide in these mountains and attack caravans and people trying to find a new life. And we were built as a slaver's city, essentially. But then the Region 3, the first Region 3, decided to try and make a better life, and those who had skills to help build the city were promoted to higher levels, and those who did not have those skills worked until they decided that they didn't need them anymore and let them move on. And so that's how the social hierarchy was established, and it's kind of been how this city runs. But about 20 years ago, there was this horrible energy surge within the mountain. And this is where the texts don't say a lot, but they say something, a battle happened, and a lot of the citizens at the time were killed or slaughtered or taken as prisoners by this army that came through with the magic. And it took a lot of Daddy's forces to stop them, and mom helped. That's actually how we met. But anyway, there was a big battle, and they stopped the invading party from taking over the city. But ever since then, Dad's been scared of what another kingdom will do if we're broken into, and he's been making the monthly exodus, much harder for the people who want to leave. And I think they're mad at him for that.
Not everyone all at once now.
I was
Are
gonna say,
we going in the city?
I'll look at Sheldon and say, I think we should definitely have going to the city on the list of things to do sooner rather than later. We should probably wait for Edmund to do his thing, and we'll say the Viceroy was going to be coming along to give us a few additional trinkets at some point. We might want to wait a little while longer for him. But I do think perhaps we should we should definitely plan on doing a visit out to the city, I think, this evening.
We should go probably right after dinner then. That's when the guard change shifts. Well, if they're still guard. I don't know if the clockworks need to eat. No, they don't. That might be hard, but it'll still happen. They still have to rotate where they're going.
All right. Well, I can look over to Edmund and I don't know
Brian.
how much time we got.
Brian, while we wait, maybe you'd like to disclose, did you find anything out when you were speaking with the Viceroy? Any information?
The long short of it is that Daru was walking about the city, going through his normal duties. He was in the training yard when he was approached by a stranger. Him and two other guards went off into an alleyway, essentially, where they were hidden from the camera system. When Daru came back, he was wearing a helmet. The other two are unaccounted for at this time. And it would seem that that's when this act took place. Daru then tried to break into the council chambers before going down into the pit to get ready for the demonstration, as it were. It would seem that this strange figure that approached them was also spotted basically around the area. Seems that they were able to thwart some of the safety precautions that were in place to prevent the Regent 3 from being attacked or from being hurt should something go wrong. So there's at least one infiltrator who does have this ability to place some sort of mind control device. There's at least two guards who were with Daru at the time who we still don't know where they're at. Currently, the Viceroy is gathering up all of the guards as well as all of the servants to do a inspection. He'll be checking the servants over to see if any of them have this mind control device, and the guards will be gathered up for basically the same type of inspection. I'd appreciate your help with that as well. In the meanwhile, they're using mechanized units to basically lock down, patrol the city, and keep the peace in the meanwhile while all of the human servants are being rounded up.
Interesting. So it does seem that the device is the cause.
I would say so, right? By all accounts, nothing seems to point to Daru being a traitor. He seems like a loyal friend. It seems quite likely that he was taken against as well. I
wonder if there's a way for us to connect the device to the individual, other than, dare I say, some the mind an altering, another end of another part, if you will, transmitter type of said device. Because Daru clearly was not the owner of the device. Did you see anything? Was there anything else about the hidden extra person, short, tall? I presume you're unable to see the face.
Yes, I'm able to see the face, rather nondescript, cloaked, hooded, all that. I would also say, whoever this individual was, they must have intricate knowledge of not only the the guards and the folks here. They were able to identify the captain. They have some sense of magic themselves. They were also able to not only subvert the failsafes preventing the Region 3 from being safe, but also they were able to mask themselves from these little watchers that are around the city as well. So it's someone who knows the system inside and out, but unfortunately, no other real clear features.
Curious enough how the word mask keeps coming up.
Yeah, they claim that all the servants are masked in order to prevent them from being, messed with. But that anonymity presents a pretty large security risk as well, I think. Not to mention that this device seems to be hidden by, any sort of facial or head covering. I don't really see how we're going to be able to continue having masked and cloaked individuals walking around the keep. If that hides a device that could be controlling them.
Exactly, when any of them could be under the same influence.
Are you guys being quiet about this, or are you allowing Agna to hear?
I don't want Agna to hear.
Okay.
She's flying about, flitting about.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be our goal in going to the city?
Well, there are a few stops that Durer went through. There's a shop called Oh My Cog, where it seems like he picked up some arms and armor. There's a tavern that we could stop through along his route. There's also a smithy, the glowing Drugar. There's a few places around the area we could inspect along his route. I was also thinking it sounds though there may be some rioting and some protesting in the streets after being locked down. I was thinking it might not be a bad idea to go, I don't know, see if we can do any investigation, see if there's anywhere the underground might be lurking, anywhere these individuals might be hiding. I think, as strangers to the city, I think we might be able to pose some level of anonymity ourselves and perhaps find some information that the guards may otherwise be unable to get.
I wonder if we could plant a seed of deception. Some way to reveal that we've uncovered bits and pieces, pertinent information in our investigation.
Perhaps. Yeah, well, that might work quite well.
And then go about that route and see what comes.
Other than our own personal safety, I don't see how it could hurt, and we're quite well capable of handling ourselves.
Okay, if there's no other things you guys want to discuss in here, I will go ahead and move us along to the hour mark. Within that time, Ebony has come back. She has brought snacks, basically, told Agna that dinner is ready when she is ready to eat. Her father will not be dining with her this evening. This does not surprise Agna. But yeah, the spell is, the attunement is now ready.
Okay. I will use it to recall a second level spell slot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to poll the audience here so I can locate object. We know that the writing on the wall was done in oil that was dyed red to represent blood. So what do we think is going to be our best bet? Should I try to locate object of that oil on someone's hands or on someone's clothes? Should I look for the main source of it to see if it's in someone's room or hidden near someplace that we could have had visual on? Should I look for a paintbrush covered in that oil? What do you guys think would be the best option? Those were just the 4 brainstorming ones that I came up with offhand.
At first I thought the paintbrush would have been a great idea, but anyone with any intelligence whatsoever would have gotten rid of that by now.
Right, that's what I figured.
What about the paint?
Possible that it would still help to find it, but I don't know that would be the primary.
What about the paint itself? Maybe if they haven't washed their hands good enough. Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, if searching for that paint flecked oil on clothes would be the best option.
Actually, on that note, oil is not something that's very commonly found here in Diardon. It may make sense to locate the source of the oil that was used in the paint and see where did the oil have such that people would have access to it. It's not something that people just have here.
Right, but we're in the keep in the castle, which probably there's a large amount of it considering how much innovation and inventions he has here.
Hmm.
Oil
Fair point.
in general, yes.
It's like in Diardon, not frequent, but inside this castle and keep, probably the bulk of it in this city. But again, it's dyed red. So I think that's going to be the key. We could find the source probably pretty easy, probably still inside the keep. But that doesn't get us... Well,
Right.
does the criminal still have it in their room? Or did they get rid of it? And I guess that's the question.
We could... Granted, we could probably ask the Viceroy where the source is, right? Or where a variety of sources are. Use the surveillance system, see who came and went. Can't be that many because they still limit who can utilize and has access to said oil. But you're right, the next phase is the dyeing of it.
Yeah, and then again, this individual seems to have been able to have access to the keep without... I mean, certainly this is an individual who's wandering about the keep almost freely, despite security measures and despite precautions. So I suppose, we're narrowing things down to a list of what individuals would have access to certain substances doesn't really help us, because this individual shouldn't have access, it seems, at all to anything.
So I'm thinking that looking for paint flecked clothes or oil flecked clothes would be our best option.
Or paint on hands.
Or paint on hands, but hands are objects. We're looking for the paint, so...
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to locate object, paint flecked clothes. Oil, dyed red oil flecked clothes.
And you're doing it here? In the room?
Yeah, well, we got for 10 minutes. So I'm going to start here, and then if I don't get a ping within 1,000 feet, I'm going to start, taking a nice brisk jog through the castle, trying to...
Say, we could also briskly go through the cities if we do this after dinner, or during dinner even. Interesting. Yes, if we did it during dinner, there will be more congregation of people.
But dinner is now, according to enemy.
Yeah.
And also, they would give them even more time to change clothes and everything.
Agreed.
So we're hoping to catch them red-handed. It's probably a long shot, but it's still a shot.
Do it.
So I'm gonna do it here, and then it's good for 1,000 feet.
And you're looking specifically for red paint flecked clothes.
The dyed red oil flecked on clothes.
Got it.
Because there was a lot of writing. It was pretty big, so it had to end up on clothes somehow.
Right.
So.
Okay. Perfect. You start casting it. You do not get a ping.
Okay. Then I will quickly rush out of the room and start circling the castle in perimeters, like going in a big actually it's 1,000 feet, so it's not within 1,000 feet of me. I'm going to try to go out 1,000 feet as best as I can, and then do a quick perimeter around. And then if that doesn't work, go out another 1,000 feet, and then keep going out, kind of like a bullseye, trying to circle it. And I'll full out run if need be.
I was gonna say, because I think 1,000 feet is about a third of a mile, if I remember correctly. So and the average person can do an 8 to 10 minute mile. So if you're gonna do this, you are hustling.
That's fine. I've got a good con and dexterity.
Okay, so within 1,000 feet within the castle, you don't feel anything. You go out, are you heading towards like the front of the castle where the main entrance is? Are you trying to head to like the very back of the castle? Are you trying to get outside, I guess?
Yeah, if say the castle's 500, 600 feet, whatever the size is, go outside the castle, give myself a little bit more room there, and then circle around again.
Got it. Okay. So you go outside. You're gonna go probably the only way you know to get in and out of this castle is the front way. So you're gonna go out the front.
That's fine.
The Watchers. You do have to slow down for the Watchers to like scan you, but that's like a 3 seconds or whatever, and then keep going. Yeah.
As soon as he begins his search, I am going to cast greater invisibility on him.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. Right.
Where'd I go? Let's go. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so you do that before he even leaves. Does anyone try so no one's gonna try and go with him?
I won't be able to.
Mm-hmm.
Shelton will go with him, and he's going to be hiding the entire way. So, like, bouncing.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I am going to go with him. I'm going to go with him, and I'm going to hold that spell.
Okay, so does greater invisibility cast on one person or many people?
It's only one.
Okay.
But I'm holding it in as we may need it.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like concentration is only up to still 1 minute there, right?
Exactly. That's why I'm going to hold it.
Okay.
Okay, so let me put it this way. I don't know you're going to get to the front of this castle within a minute. When are you going to cast it?
So if we come... So I'm with him. I've got a good dex and con as well.
Mm-hmm.
So as we move, if there looks like a point where he cannot proceed, then that's when it's going to happen.
Okay. And then, Shelton, while they're doing this, I need you to make me a stealth check real quick.
Okay.
And so when you're going to hit this,
I cannot roll today.
you
14.
you think you're being pretty sneaky, which is perfect. So when you guys get to the barrier, that's where he's going to get slowed down, because he's going to have to check in. So do you cast it there, or are you going to try and cast it after?
I ask Edmund what he wants.
We can do it now.
Do it now.
So I don't need to waste time checking out.
Okay, you go and you rush through the barrier, and the barrier ripples, which has never happened before, and immediately the Watchers start like jerking and turning all the way around and trying to figure out what happened as they're seeing you. But you all rush through. As that happens, you get through otherwise without issue. You get out into the outer Zollern area. Still no ping. You are currently facing the west as you go out.
Okay. I run around that perimeter, hoping to get a ping somewhere.
All right, so you start heading. Are you going to the north or south? Left or right?
I'm left.
Cool. All right, you start going left. Nothing. Then all of a sudden, boop! Something catches. It's very faint, but immediately to your right. Or sorry, if you went left, it's towards the Dollar District. So
I all out run in that direction.
Okay. It's probably about maybe 2 or 3 minutes that this has happened. So if you start running that way, it starts to get a little stronger. You're tearing through the streets, the three of you. I assume, Shelton, you're trying to like stick to the roof so there's shadows as you run. And you do see a lot of soldiers out in the streets still. They're trying to like get people to go into the houses. You see way more Clockwork soldiers than you've ever seen before in the city, and that's especially jarring to you, Edmund and Keeneth, which you maybe see like a couple handfuls at night, but there's like dozens on every street now. And they're forcing people into their homes or into businesses. They're forcing them off the streets. They're pushing people out of alleyways as you tear through. They don't pay you any mind. You assume due to your medallions, they seem to sense the magic on you, so they don't turn on you when you run past them or push past them. As the beat gets bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden, it's like, however you sense magic, it's like glowing hot suddenly as you pass an alleyway.
Okay. I sprint down it. And if I see someone there, I death tackle them.
You don't see anyone, but you do see the robe on the ground. It was tossed in some rubbish, and that's where it's coming from.
Okay. That's disappointing, but it's a good start. So I pull out my rapier and I lift up the ropes with it.
You see the flecks are pretty splotched towards the sleeves, where maybe it's smeared into the dyed oil. It is very tattered, covered in soot and clay. Also, there are some other splotches of what looks to be stains that are darker than the red dye. But yeah, that is what you find right there in the alleyway. And you're about halfway through the Dolo district, in between, almost equally between the Zollern Keep and the Laves. And the spell just is about to fade.
Okay. My hand is gloved and everything in my sleeve, so I do pick it up with that and look it over. See if I can see anything on here. Is it like a larger size? Does it look like it's for someone with a smaller frame?
It looks like an average size. There's no ornate details on it. Actually, make an investigation for me real quick.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it looks like a really well-worn, with a 2. It looks like a cloak.
This isn't it. I throw it away.
Yeah, other than the magic on it and telling you that this is the thing, you're like, this is just a robe. That's really dirty.
I will hold it out to Ryanthal. Like, any ideas?
Did Ryanthal come with you?
Ryanthal did not come with.
Oh. I'm like, where do you go? Where's the wizard?
Nope. You guys all took off. I'm still with Agda. I want to talk to her about her little clockwork stuff. But no, I figured I'd just let you guys go for a jog. I want to stay in the keep where the viceroy can get to me.
Son of a bitch. All
right. I mean, you can bring it back to the keep later.
No. You made your bed. You need to lie in it. I looked at Kenneth. I'm like, can you make anything of this?
What specifically?
This is the robe that they wore. Does look familiar. I'm sure we'll take it back to the viceroy. He may have an idea of who this one belonged to. He seems pretty adamant on knowing everything that goes on within his keep that doesn't matter.
Do I recognize the robe or anything about it?
Make a history check for me. All right, guidance yourself.
That's guidance.
Oh, heaven.
Roll that d4.
Oh, boy.
Roll that d4.
I got a 10.
Okay. You do recall this robe. It's tickling your brain.
I tell Edmund, there is something familiar of this. What else do I see on it? Besides the obvious red oil flecks.
Make an investigation check. You notice that it's frayed at the bottom. Since you didn't get you got a 7. I'll say this is definitely not something someone would wear from the Dolo district or the Zollern Keep area. Probably from the Laves or was purchased in the Laves area.
I explain that to Edmund. This is probably either owned or purchased as a disguise, but it is from, best guess, the Laves.
Can we investigate the alleyway to see if there's anything here that might have been dropped? If we got lucky, any...
Investigate checks from all 3 of you if you like.
God, I wish the guy with the high intelligence was here. No, instead he's playing with his clockwork toys. 7,
We're all just a
7,
bunch of dummies.
and 5. If we add them all together, we still don't make a 20.
Keenan, you can still roll
Oh.
again because you're checking something else now.
There's my investigation for the alley.
Ooh.
21? Okay. So with the 7 and the 5 from Edmund and Shelton, y'all are kind of twiddling your thumbs. You're looking, but you're just not seeing. Keeneth over here looks more adept at, like, the ground. As the ground is usually metal, you notice that there is what you hope is mud on the ground and dirt in certain places. And you do see a footprint heading to the opposite end of the alley mouth. It looks to be about average size. There's not a lot of tread in the sole, which either means it's a nice quality shoe or it is well worn down. And as you look out that way, you do see a couple more footprints that are in the kind of wetter area of this alleyway leading out. And at the mouth of that other side, you do see a shop that is directly in line with the alleyway.
I get their attention. I believe this is what we may be looking for. And I point the direction of the shop.
What's the name of the shop?
Baked
squint.
goods galore.
Ooh, baked goods.
It's a 2-story building. The bottom part definitely looks to be, from what you can see, like the entranceway is kind of cut off if you're still in the alleyway, so you only like see half of it. But you see most of the signs, so you can assume it says galore at the end of that. But you see it's 1 story at the bottom. It looks to be the shop, and then upstairs there is another like compartment, or at least a 2nd floor, but the windows are dark up there. And there's a side stairway that would lead up to those compartments around the back of the building that goes into the rock, but there's also the front door.
Let's casually try and make our way over there without trying to be too noticeable and see if those footprints lead to that side stairwell.
All right, Shelton, with that 13 of stealth, you think you're pretty stealthy. Keep going.
So I literally was just going to guidance him.
Unfortunately, you rolled it before saying it.
You know, the sad
Literally
part
was
is
just going to guidance him.
I have a plus 10 to stealth. I have not rolled above a 10 today.
All those great rolls from last game are finally getting ya. All right. So as you guys come out of the mouth of this alleyway, the ground goes from like debris and dirt to the grate system again. So the main roads are typically just grates, like really fine tooth grates. And so you don't see the footprints there, but they are still like at the mouth of the alleyway. They still do head straight in that direction. You just can't see them outside of there. If you're coming out, this is a quieter street in Dollar, or in the Dolo district. You do see like maybe half a mile down a couple of guards along with some clockwork soldiers heading back towards the Zone Keep area, but that's all you see in terms of patrol. Not many people are on the streets. Maybe they cleared this area already. But the signs still, the lights inside that bakery are still on. You still smell the faint aroma of freshly baked bread. If you wish to go in.
While checking the side stairwell leading up, do we see any of the mud on those stairs? Or does it look like they possibly went through the front door?
You do not see any mud.
That 2nd level's all blacked out, though you said we can't see in through the windows or anything like that?
It is dark up there, yes. So you don't see any light
Okay.
up there currently.
What? Why can't he see?
No, so there's a secondary stairwell. He was looking for mud on that stairwell that leads up to the 2nd floor outside of the main entrance down below. There's no mud, and the windows upstairs are dark, so meaning there's no light inside on the 2nd floor. But downstairs is lit up.
Can I jump up there and look in through the window?
You can climb the stairs, or if you can scale a wall, sure.
I scale the wall.
Or give me an athletics check, I think.
I do acrobatics.
Sure, I'll let you do acrobatics.
That's a 27.
You spider monkey up the wall. You peer inside. It's really dark in there. Do you have dark vision?
I have better than dark vision. Hold on, and I'll tell you. Give me a second. Let me.
What time of day is it?
You see the jadeite crystals that are on the street are a deep orange, which indicates evening.
So I have undead dark vision. I can see in darkness up to 60 feet.
Okay, perfect. So you see in shades of gray, I think, then, unless it's like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Shades gray.
Cool. You see what appears to be an apartment of some sort. From the window you're looking at specifically, you can see into a small living space area that is coupled with a bed. Make a perception check for me to see what else you can see as you were kind of leaning around and looking in.
That's an 8.
Yeah, you see a living space with a bed and a couple of chairs and what appears to be a small, like, stove for keeping the place warm.
Do I see any people?
No.
Okay. I scale back down and tell them.
Okay, then let's just try the front door. I check it. See if it's open.
It is open, and a little bell goes ding 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 ding.
Of course it
I
does.
walk in.
You go in and immediately are assaulted with the sweet aroma of freshly baked bread. Sweet something with some cinnamon in it, a little bit of caramel. You see a big oven that has no fire, but like bright red runes on the inside of it, where some more dough is baking there. And from a back door that's like has a cloth over it, you see a plump halfling woman, holding her swollen belly, and is wearing the medallion of Matronus around her throat. Goes, "Oh, hello! Well, welcome. I wasn't expecting anyone with all the assignments going off. How can I help you?"
Good evening. We were looking for someone that may have passed through this way. If you'd be so kind as to potentially tell us the direction they went.
She looks you guys up and down. Did you guys hide your ambulance? I don't think you did that.
I didn't. No.
Okay. She looks down, looks at your chest, sees the medallion, looks up and goes, "Oh, what sort of individual are you looking for?"
Some that may have come here from the keep. In a hurry.
"Oh, the keep. We don't get many visitors from the keep over here. They usually have their own cooks to make their delicious breads."
I didn't say that they were purchasing anything. Are you the only one here, ma'am?
Currently, my husband's out. He was supposed to get groceries. I hope he didn't get stopped by the guards. Ooh. But currently, yes, I'm alone.
Can I insight?
You sure can.
I've cast Detect Thoughts.
You can cast Detect Thoughts? Okay. 17.
17 on my insight.
Okay. She looks a little nervous, for sure. She's definitely more nervous about the fact that you are from the Zolan Keep. And she's a little worried you're guards.
Okay.
And I can detect that, or Edmund can.
He can detect that with your detect thoughts. So you currently would know the surface thoughts of what she's thinking as he's asking questions. Immediately her thoughts are going to her husband and goes, "Oh, where is Miles when I need him? I don't want any more trouble. We've already paid the taxes." Those are kind of her first level thoughts. Do you push?
Before I do that, under my breath, I lean into Edmund, and I proclaim that she feels we're with the guard. We need to alleviate, and then I push.
Okay. So if you push, do I have to make a save? Let me see here. I have to make a wisdom saving throw. Okay. What is your DC?
16.
16. Okay. Okay. I made my roll. I will not tell you what it is. So, all right. So what are you guys asking her after that? As she looks at you, you can tell she's nervous. You can tell she's concerned.
I hold my hand up. I'm like, I assure you we're not with the guards. That's not why we're here. But we do feel that someone may have come through here within the last hour that's wanted for treason and murder. If you are willing to help us, are you in trouble? Is there someone here that you're scared of? And I look around. I actually look right down at the ground to see if those mud prints are here.
Make an investigation check.
I wish I had a high intelligence, like I was a wizard or something with a good investigation odds. 7.
You don't see anything, but as
Because I'm stepping on them.
Yeah, exactly, you are on them. No, as you're asking these questions, though, Kenneth, as soon as you did that, you see thoughts of please no, he's not a bad person. We know that. We've known him for years. This is not okay. Someone set him up. Like, she's scared for someone as he's asking if someone's come here in the last hour.
I lean into Edmund and tell him that she's hiding someone, she knows someone, and she's afraid for that someone.
Shelton gets in right between the middle of them while they're whispering. What are y'all whispering about?
I actually repeat it so he can hear.
And as you're all whispering in front of her, she's just like, I don't want any trouble. There's no one here. Just take what you want and go, please.
Things.
I give her a reassuring smile. I'm like, there won't be any trouble. I understand that you're protecting someone, but tell us where they are and who they are, and we'll be out of your hair. I cast suggestion on her.
Okay. Can you put that in the chat for me?
Yeah, hold on.
Are these baked goods?
They're baked, yeah. There's
Okay.
there's breads, there's cinnamon rolls, there's all kinds of
full on has handfuls, and he's like, yeah, I totally eat these kind of things.
Okay, so since you're doing this, and I need to make a wisdom saving throw. Okay.
DC 14.
Thank you. You try to force a suggestion on her, and she seems to shake it off and goes,
Is this Agna, though? Does this halfling have a +4 save?
I'm using hers as the skin, okay? I don't actually have her. She's got the same stats, damn it.
Some kind of commoner this is.
She doesn't have a save for, but let me look at the thing. What did I actually put here?
That would be a 12.
It is a 12, you're right. My bad.
Yeah.
This is secretly the BBEG right here.
Right? This pregnant old little halfling woman.
Whoops.
Also, can we draw attention to Agna has a +4 wisdom?
Yeah, we knew that Magna was going to be a badass. These things didn't surprise me.
My bad, so that was a 12, so she did fail. My bad. Oh, I forgot that was the wrong sheet. Anyway, so yeah, a 12, she fails. What are you suggesting her to do? All that?
Yeah, what I said when my voice changed.
So tell him who's here.
Tell us the name of who you're protecting and where are they hiding now.
Alright. She says, she looks at you and goes, Thomas Alder. He lives upstairs. I saw him about 40 minutes ago go up there.
Thomas Elder.
Shelton's just scooting away from them.
Okay, you're scooting away. Where are you trying to go?
You're just scooting away because he said he didn't see anybody.
Okay.
I smile to her. I'm like, thank you for your cooperation. It's greatly appreciated. And I look around for a stairwell leading upstairs from this way.
You don't see a stairwell. You just see going behind the counter. There is that hallway with the curtain.
Okay, I look to her. I'm like, is that the only way upstairs? Outside? Or is there a back door?
There's a way upstairs from this way, but typically Thomas uses the side entrances to not disturb customers.
Okay. I go to look for Shelton, but I'm thinking he slipped away.
No, I'm just farther away from you guys. I'm not full off.
holding
Okay.
a hoard of sweets in his arms.
I look to you two and I motion outside and upstairs, and I will go through the back to make sure that they can't escape.
Shelton hands you a cinnamon roll.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll leave some gold on the counter for what we've taken, or what Sheldon's taken, and
29 and swipe that gold when he leaves it.
You swipe the gold when he...
I love that.
Alright, cool. So that happens. She hasn't noticed. I'm not even going to try and roll for that. So.
add 1 gold piece. Because I don't have that much, apparently. We're good. We're fine.
Alright,
I go through the back door. I send them around the side.
Okay. So, as you go through the back door, you're immediately greeted by basically the larger set of this kitchen. There is a side door that probably leads into another room, but you do see the stairs towards the back as you weave through some of the carts and dough and tables and stuff.
I will peek in that door just to make sure there's no one and nothing in there.
You don't see anyone in there. You do see a living space with a crib in the corner.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and then I head upstairs.
Okay.
And I wait there.
Okay, so there's a door there that you're waiting at. The other two, what you doing?
Sheldon's gonna stay in the shop to keep, because there's an entrance in the shop, right?
Yep, the front
That's-
door.
He's gonna stay at the front door in case he tries to bolt out the back. Or the
That's
front.
that's where I am.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
you would. Time out. So I thought, Johnny, you went to the back of the shop itself.
No, he motioned for us to go back there. That's where we're gonna go.
Right, I motioned for them to go outside and upstairs, which is the entrance that he normally takes. I'm at that interior entrance / exit in case he tries to shoot out the back.
Oh, okay. I thought you went to the back of the shop then.
I thought he went to the back too, because he said I'm going to the back.
Okay. So
Well,
you're...
because you said there is a stairwell leading up,
Mhm.
which would be for that apartment. So that's the one that I went to in back.
Okay, so did you come back out to the front of the shop then where Liv is, that's her name?
Okay, so I think I'm confused now.
Okay, so when you told me you were going to the back, I assume you went past the counter into the curtain.
Right, where was supposed to be
stairwell
the...
He's
right,
inside.
and that's the stairwell for the apartment upstairs.
Correct.
Right, so that's where I'm going.
All right, Shelton's
I'm
staying
going
at the
outside.
front, I think.
Of the shop.
Yeah, so Shelton, I
Well-
think, is saying he's staying at the front of the shop, and then Keeneth is actually going to the stairwell on the outside.
Going wherever
Outside.
the other people aren't.
Okay. Do I have that all correct?
Yeah, I told him to go around, but if he stays there, that's completely up to him. That's what his character did.
Okay.
So I'm expecting him to come out the back door and try to run when he sees those two. But if it's only Keeneth going, that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to wait at this back door for when it opens up to stop from getting away.
All right, so who's with me?
You're by yourself currently, because Keeneth is going
Okay.
around the side.
Okay, so I'm guarding which door?
The very front door of the shop, the downstairs
Okay.
front door.
Can I just, because I'm in like the room with the baker lady, right?
Correct.
Okay, can I just like go out the front door? Because that's the only other door that he can leave through, right?
He can leave from
If
the
he-
upstairs apartment door, which is around the side. He can leave from the
Yep.
back of the building, or there's this front door.
Okay. So the only way that he can get out from me is the front door, correct? Like my way.
If he gets past Edmund, yes.
Oh, so he has to go through Edmund and then me.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Is there a way for me to go to prevent him from escaping that hasn't been taken yet?
If you want to
Look.
search the rest of the building, you can.
Sure. I'll go search the building.
All right, so Edmund's already checked the very back for anything. So if you want to search the other side of the building, outside for any
Yeah,
sneakies
I'll do
there,
that.
you can.
Yeah.
Give me an investigation check when you're ready, but we're going to go to Keeneth first. So you...
Oh, it's an 8.
Yeah, with that 8, you're pretty certain these are the only two ways out. Keeneth, you're headed
Yes.
towards the stairwell on the outside.
Correct.
Are you going up the stairs immediately? Are you staying down at the bottom? Are you trying to get in that door up there?
Well, at first, again, I'm looking in this alleyway or this side, whatever, to see what else quickly is there. Edmund, I believe, already said he looked for footprints, didn't see them. So I'm guessing that the person, if there is someone here, they would have come out, right? So possibly would have heard them or seen them as I'm coming around the backside. So I presume that there's nothing here on first glance. So if that's the case, then I go up the stairs to the door.
Got it. Okay. Yep. When you glance around, you don't see anything immediate, but you go up to that door. Okay. Does anyone try either door entrance?
I'm waiting because I figure if they go to the front door, he's going to try to bolt out the back.
I am going to see. I'm checking to see if the door is locked.
The door is locked.
Which door's locked?
The outer
One.
stairwell one that Keeneth is at.
Okay. Can I come and unlock it?
If he tells you.
I was going to come and ask for him. I go back down the stairs and stand at the bottom of the stairs and yell just loud enough for him to possibly hear me.
Okay.
Do I hear it?
Yeah, it's not that far away from you, so yeah, you hear him.
Shelton just like runs up on him.
I tell him that the door is locked. I then shuttle inside quickly and tell Edmund that the door is locked. Keep an eye out. Keep a sharp eye because we're both at the back now.
Shelton
and then rejoin him.
Shelton walks up to the door and he looks at you, Bruce, and he goes, he like does a little spinning motion with his hand to tell you to turn around.
Raise an eyebrow and turn around.
Okay, he takes off his glove.
A full 360.
He takes off his glove while he's facing the door and sticks his finger in the lock.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And what do you want me to roll to try and unlock it?
Sleight of hand check.
It's good to have a skeleton key on you.
Love it.
18.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a click, and the door unlocks.
Okay. He turns around. Bruce is just staring at him, and he goes, "How long were you watching?"
I saw it all. As I told you not to worry before.
What did you see?
I saw you unlock a door.
Uh-huh.
Well done. Something I could not do. I do not have the appropriate tools.
Did you see anything else?
Like?
Nothing. He walks down where Bruce is.
Oh, you walk back down with him after the door's been unlocked?
Yeah, I'm not gonna open the door.
Okay.
That's a big boy job right there.
As he rejoins me, I say, "Thank you greatly. Something I could not do."
He feels a little happy and chipper in his step after he says that.
Sharp eye, and I hustle back up the stairs, and I brandish my axe, or my hammer, my warhammer.
Okay.
Well, why didn't you just use that to knock the door down with?
And I look at him and I wink. And I put my pointer fingers to my lips as if I'm, trying to be quiet. Do I hear anything?
Make a perception check.
I rolled a 17. I also have guidance if I need it.
The 17 will do. You hear a lot of shuffling in there. You actually hear someone grabbing things and a lot of clatter.
I snap my fingers at Shelton to get his attention if he's not looking at me.
He was fully not looking. He was like kind of picking his nose, looking up at the sky.
I figured as such as is his way. Once I get his attention, I motion to the door and mouth, he's in here. Someone's in here.
All right. Hold on. It was 11. Do I notice him?
You notice he's trying to get your attention, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Shelton goes upstairs, and Bruce, what are you? Are you a paladin?
Cleric.
Cleric. What's your cleric? Do I know?
You wouldn't know, I don't think. I mean, what you mean, race or subclass?
Subclass.
Because race, it's pretty obvious.
No, subclass. But if I don't know, it's fine.
Subclass, you probably wouldn't know.
Unless you've noticed an insignia anywhere. If you have an arcane focus, it's like on a shield or something. No, he wouldn't notice.
Okay. He's gonna look at you and go, "How well can you keep a secret?
I'm a walking secret.
Do you have a bag?"
I have a pouch.
While this is
You don't-
happening, guys, make another perception check for me.
That's a 7.
Perception, you said?
Yep.
That's a 24. That's a crit,
Mm.
not 20.
You smell something burning.
24. I go in without hesitation.
All right. You come into what is essentially a smoke screen filling the room. You do hear someone in there coughing, and they are frantically trying to, like, throw things onto this blaze that is starting to build in the back of the room as they see you through the smoke, barely. They see the light come in.
Shelton just walks in and is just like right in the middle of all the smoke. What does he see?
You see the living space that you saw before, but when you unlocked the door, it triggered something. And you see runes leading up over the edge of the door, up to the ceiling, and to the wall where this giant tapestry, a map of the city, which none of you have seen before. There's not very many situations where a map is kind of allowed in Diarden because it could get out and people would know how the city looks and is made. And it is going up in flames from the bottom.
I pull it down immediately and crumple it all up and try and smother the flames.
Okay, and
What do I
else?
see the person leaving, like the person in the room doing?
You see them trying to get out through a window on the opposite side of the room.
All right, I'm gonna chase him.
Okay, it's not that far to chase. It's not that far away. Make a grapple check to stop him if you're going to try and grab him. Or if you're going to stab him.
Do I see it?
You do see him, but it's either him or the tapestry.
I yell to Edmund, "Help now."
You hear this, Edmund.
Is the back door locked?
You try to open it, it is locked.
Okay, I'm going to try to kick it in.
Can I?
So, Shelton, make me an attack roll or a grapple check, depending on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to grab him, if you're trying to stab him, whatever. And then we'll go to Edmund next.
I'm just gonna, I guess I'll attempt to grapple him. You
Okay.
want a strength or
Yep.
athletics? Or
I would
Right.
like an athletics, actually, for the grappling.
9.
Alright, let's see. And then as I'm rolling the roll to combat this, Edmund, give me your attack.
Oh, Edmund's attacking him?
He's
My-
attacking
my-
the door.
My athletics to get in 13.
13. 13 will meet it. You kick it in. Well, yeah, you like punch it up, kick it in, whatever you're doing to get in there. They fail with an 8 on that athletics. So you're able to grapple them as they're like halfway out that window.
Oof.
I just tackle him straight through the window.
Oh, you're going out the window with him?
Oh, going out the window with him.
Oh, okay. Evan, you see you see Shelton midair snatch whoever's trying to escape out the window and just go out the window.
Oh, jeez. I rush to the window and I look out.
And then Keeneth, you're just trying to stamp out the flames?
Yep, I've crumpled it up as much as I can, trying to smother it on itself. I suspect I may take some damage doing this as it was ablaze.
Yes, go ahead. Let me roll something for that real quick.
Let me do it.
take 1 point of fire damage. As you're stabbing it, the flames are starting to go down, and you're trying to get it out, but take 1 point of fire damage.
Right.
Okay, Sheldon. So that is, it's every 10 feet, and it's I actually did not have this ready, so hang on.
It's one story, so it's probably just 1d6 for both of them.
1d6.
Always
Should be
fun
two
to
stories,
surprise
right?
the DM
It's
with our actions.
this is the second floor, so would it be 2d6?
No, because the first 10 feet are free.
Got it. Okay. Okay. You both take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you crash to the ground below. And he cries out, "Ah! Get off me!" And you start struggling on the ground.
Can I take a dagger and hold it up to his neck?
You sure can.
Cool. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
He's like, I'm really sorry about this. You started running away. I don't know. They wanted you.
Then let me go. You don't have to hold on to me.
You were trying to escape through the window.
Because I thought you were gonna kill me.
Well, I thought you were trying to escape.
Back upstairs. This is going
I
on. Stairs.
Sprint downstairs. I sprint downstairs.
Okay. You see them out the front of the shop, glass everywhere from upstairs, as they're struggling on the ground. Liv has come to the front of the shop now and goes, "Oh my god," and is kind of scared now. She like shuts the door and locks it, goes back in. Keenith, let's see. Let's see how much damage you take. It's only gonna be one more time, so take 4 points of fire damage as you finally stamp out the last of the flames.
Yeah.
Edmund, you're down there.
I casually stroll over, seeing as Shelton has this under control.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of lean back on my heels and rest my hand on the hilt of my rapier and look down to Thomas and kind of shake my head. I'm like, you shouldn't have ran. We just wanted to talk, but
Guess what?
now you definitely seem guilty.
You recognize Thomas.
Do I?
This is the same human, scruffy human, that was shouting for Becca.
Oh, okay.
And he instantly recognizes you.
I narrow my eyes a bit, and I'm like, you.
So can I stab him now?
No, we have a lot of questions.
He starts struggling
Yeah.
again. Make another athletics check as soon as you say stab him.
Is
I'm gonna
this
stab him
the
I'm gonna stab him in the
individual?
left shoulder.
Is this the individual that when we were in the streets before was?
Yes.
Does a 12 hit?
12 will hit. He is going to try and break the grapple as he screams out as you stab him in the shoulder.
What are you doing, Shelton?
He's trying to get away.
He's not going to go anywhere.
Not with
Between-
a dagger in his shoulder.
Oh, groan.
He does not break the grapple as he is stabbed and freaks out even more. And starts calling for help. Help! I'm being attacked! Help!
Sheldon puts his hand over his mouth. And then he looks at... Actually, never mind. Go ahead.
I motion to you to hold on. I'm like, you don't need to stab him. He's not going anywhere
He's already stabbed.
anymore.
I
Thomas,
got more daggers.
I'm aware you have many daggers. I can see them on you, and you're extremely proficient with it, and I'm very impressed with your work. Thomas, however, I'm not impressed with your work, as you were extremely sloppy, which is why we were able to find you. So now, Shelton, please remove your hand from his mouth.
Sheldon looks at him and says, "Do I need to stab you again?"
He shakes his head, looking back over you with his shoulder.
He removes the hand.
Why were you at the keep? Why were you leaving that message on the wall?
And then, Keeneth, have you come back downstairs?
If I'm done with this, yes. Is there anything else on fire?
It was just a tapestry. There were definitely like scorch marks on the wall, though. But it was that went up in flames. It's definitely damaged.
So I'm just gonna investigate up here when it's time.
Okay. So before we go into the interrogation of Thomas in the middle of the street, Ryanthal, what we doing?
Sleeping.
Not being there for those investigation rolls we need.
He's just happy to get everybody away from him so he can finally get some peace and quiet.
Actually, on that front, after everybody leaves, I was going to cast Identify on Agna's chair.
Oh, okay. It is a chair. It actually has some of components of the crawler carriage that you were transported on. Almost like a smaller model of that, but incorporated with a seat and wheels for when the legs are not needed.
Wait, he's had to identify this entire time?
Yeah. No, well, nobody asked for anything, and I wasn't with you throughout. So the reason is go ahead.
You couldn't have identified the mystery ointment that they were using to find?
Well, maybe.
You could have if you wanted to. But you didn't, so...
So one of the things I really wanted to know, and so the reason I want to cast Identify, so Kaylee, and we discussed a few properties that I want to know about the different mechanisms of the Clockwork Master. Would casting Identify on this chair tell me some of those things?
I'm trying to remember what we talked about. Hang on.
So specific, I don't mind sharing this with the group because I think it's fun. Specifically, whether or not it can be affected by spells like Fabricate.
Yes, it can be.
Cool. And I think the other one was, so I mean, the chair is kind of like, the chair is not like a creature. I assume that's. Would I be able to identify from this spell whether or not similar constructs like the different guarding units and such, or the Watchers, if those could be affected by spells such as Polymorph?
No.
So they don't count. The constructs don't necessarily count as creatures.
As far as you are now.
For that sake, as far as that. Okay. Those were two big ones. I might message you a couple others along the way, but those were, I think, the key ones I wanted to know.
Okay.
Okay. Other than that, any chance the Viceroy comes back with the stuff?
Yes, he does come back. Not him specifically, actually. It's actually Ebony, because she made, she probably crossed his path at some point. So she comes back with 4 sets of earrings. They have a small blue gem in them. For those who do not wear earrings, there are like small little rings. But she comes back with those. These should allow you to cast messaging, sending about 5 times a day as necessary.
Wonderful. That's quite handy, and yeah, I'll take all sets of those, so that I can give those to my friends later on, so that we can communicate easily if we ever get separated.
Of course. Is there anything else you require at this time? It is almost time for Agna to get ready for bed, to which the child groans.
As far as those little clockwork toys, do those have, are those just wind-up toys, or do they have any kind of like sentient animability to them?
Ebony looks to Agna, and Agna goes, "No, they're just wind-up. Dad doesn't let me play with transmutation magic too often."
Okay. Well, it's been lovely. I'll see you some other time then. And I guess with that, I will go. Well, now that I have these, I'll send a message over to the Viceroy letting him know I'll be in my room whenever he's ready for it, whenever the guard's been rounded up.
Okay. Alright, unless there's anything else you want to do, we'll cut back over to this current situation out in the Dolo district. It seems you've caught Thomas Alder. And remind me again, Johnny, what was your first question to him? Oh, he's BRB.
While we're waiting for Johnny, can I get a short rest?
Sure. They'll probably been gone at least 30 minutes or so another 30 minutes, yeah, you can have your short rest.
Thank you kindly.
Mm-hmm.
Sheldon wants to just take him inside.
Okay, you do that. You get him up. The downstairs is locked. Liv seems to have turned off all the lights downstairs. But you could take him back upstairs. Or break the door.
I'm gonna unlock the front door. I mean, but once Bruce is Edmund with us, or is he still upstairs?
Edmund's with you. He actually came down second and then was followed by Keena shortly after.
All right, I'm just gonna go to the front door and unlock it.
Give me a sleight of hand.
Jesus, it's a 13.
Nope. For the dualistic, they have nicer locks, and you're unable to get the front door open.
He looks at Edmund and is like, Can you?
Can I what?
Yeah, probably not interrogate him outside. I seem to not be able to open this door.
Is his apartment too smoky to go back into?
You could go back into it. It's definitely still got a little bit of smoke, but it's not like you're gonna cough your lungs out.
I mean, I'm fine with going upstairs.
Especially with a broken window and the door open, it'll air out kind of quickly.
Okay, then I motion upstairs, like we'll take him back to his apartment.
Okay.
Don't try to do anything stupid, Thomas.
Who's the one that recognizes Thomas?
Edmund did, but Kenneth will now that he's come down.
Okay. So we take him upstairs?
When we take him upstairs, I looked at Kenneth. I'm like, do you want to search his apartment or should I? And you can interrogate him this time.
I'm already doing it.
Okay.
Shelton still has like his hand around the dagger inside his shoulder while he's like guiding him up there.
The dagger's still in his shoulder? God, okay.
Of course it is. And Shelton looks at Edmund and goes, What do you want to know?
Well, let's start from the beginning. And I pull out a chair and I sit down. I casually just fold my hands across in front of me on the table. And I just looked at Thomas and as if expecting him to go willingly into giving us information.
Are you forcing him to stay standing? Are you making him sit?
I motion for him to sit.
Is Shelton gonna let him sit?
Shelton just like pushes him down on his knees.
Ah!
That's
God!
a bit extreme, but to each their own.
There's like a vein popping out of his neck from the pain of the blade grinding into him.
Still has the blade in his hand.
You can pull that out. I really don't think he's a threat.
Okay, he just like rips it out.
Ah! God! And you see blood coming down. I'm just gonna give him something. Okay. That hit something on the way out. He got real woozy.
I will cure wounds on him. Take back 8, 9, 10.
He leans over. Shelton leans over Thomas and goes, I can stab you all day, and he can heal you all day.
Make an intimidation check. That's terrifying.
I think that deserves advantage. That's a 4.
I can stab you all day.
Okay.
Your voice cracks, not intimidating.
Thomas whispers back, I like it.
Oh no.
Ooh, daddy.
You come here often?
Is that what he says?
No.
I'm gonna stab him again.
He goes, you're just gonna kill me, get it over with. I knew they'd send you eventually.
He goes, all right. And he stabs him back in the shoulder.
I look to you and I'm like, stop it. No.
18 to hit.
Oh god, roll for
Same
damage.
spot.
Roll for
Same
damage.
spot.
Jesus.
Roll damage.
Yeah, you gotta roll for damage.
7.
He keels over. Because that's an 18 total damage. Or that's sneak attack. Never mind, that's 7. Okay, never mind, 7. Because I saw
7,
total
yeah.
with a sneak attack, I was like, oh god.
Oh
Alright.
no, I'm not.
Okay, that you see him like scream out of pain again. This time he actually like thrashes because instincts kick in, and he does try to hit you.
Okay.
Does a 19 hit?
It does.
Okay, so that's gonna be Take 2 damage as he like caps you in the knee with his elbow.
Alright, I'm gonna uncanny dodge, and I'm gonna only take 1.
Perfect.
Is that bludgeoning damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we done? Are we done here? So
Hey, he started it.
I kind of hold up my hand. Thomas,
Hmm?
start explaining what's going on now.
He looks at you and goes, "What? You know what's going on. That's why you
I
fucking came and found me."
I want to hear your words. There's no need to get profane. We're
I'm
calm.
sorry. I've just been stabbed 3 times. You broke into my house.
Apology accepted.
It was only
So-
twice.
The glass breaking may have been
I
considered
mean,
a stab, but
I can stab him again. He pulls out another dagger.
Shelton,
Huh?
no. We don't need to do this. Thomas, I'm trying to speak to you as an adult, man to man. I understand that you're going through a bit of a hard time looking for Becca, Sandra, one of those 2 names. I recall. Why were you at the keep? Your words.
He's gonna make an insight check real quick. See if he thinks you are who he thinks you are. Okay. He looks at you for a long, hard minute, looks at Kenneth in the other side of the room, glances back at the well-dressed figure with a mask behind him, looks down at his dagger, and then goes, "You told me to do that. Part of the plan was to lure Duru into the alley, get him in his guards, so you could take him away to God knows where. Then you were supposed to come back to me, tell me where Becca is, what's happened to her, if we can get her out, because clearly something's wrong with her. And then you would help us escape."
Shelton's like,
Talking
Huh?
to me or Shelton?
Kind of all of you, but looking more at you, Edmund, but like looking at the shoulder at all of you.
huh?
I feel that you're mistaken. You
Want
might
me to
be.
drive another dagger in him?
No, please stop stabbing him. There's enough blood on the floor already.
Yes, please stop.
So you're saying that we told you to do this?
Are you not? Oh, gods. And there's a look of realization on his face, like, and you start shaking his head. He looks scared now. He looks actually scared. And then
I look over to
he clams up
Kenneth.
real fast after that.
I was going to search the room, but I've stopped after hearing this. I'm doing detect thoughts on him again.
Surface level, you hear the word underground. You hear Becca. You hear Deal, but that's what you read at surface level.
All right. I push.
Okay, what's the wisdom
We
save?
need to DC 16.
Continue what you were saying.
I look at Edmund and I say as I'm pushing, keep going.
So you're saying that we were the ones that told you to do this? Where did you meet us?
He has clammed up on you, but Kenneth, as he's staring wide-eyed at Emmon, and like clearly his thoughts are racing a mile an hour, but you're definitely picking up full thoughts now as he starts saying, you know, basically 3 days, like a week ago, he was approached by several figures. They heard that he's been trying to get a hold of his wife, Becca, who works at the Zalern Keep. He has not seen her in months. Their exodus is coming up. She's refused to meet with him. They promised him a way to get out of Dyrden with her if they helped coerce, sabotage, etc. to get Daru out of the keep and down into that alley.
Repeat that last part?
To get Daru out of the keep and down that alley.
I look at him.
And she looks
It
at
was
me.
you. What's that?
I said, you look at her and she looks at me, yes?
It was you that lured Daru down the alley.
Yes.
Who?
You hear that
Told you to
you
do
hear
so.
that in his brain, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Who told you to do so?
He's looking very confused at like how in God's name are you reading his thoughts? But when you see that, you hear, or when you say that, you hear the words "the underground."
Specifically, who?
And as he's shaking his head a little bit confused of how you're able to hear all this, you do not get a specific name. You get a face cloaked in a shadow and a hood that is partially seen in light. It looks to be a Duergar, a stout one. You see other figures in the back, but they're not in the light where he can see them. They're just kind of hanging back in the shadows of an indescript room. But this Duergar has a scar on the left eye, from what he can see and remember. Dark skin, obviously, bit of a beard, well maintained. He's wearing a dark green hood and wears a couple of thick iron rings on his left hand, each with one with a ruby, a sapphire, and some sort of opal.
Well, it doesn't seem like you want to talk. I'm sure the Viceroy has ways of making you talk.
Listen, I'll make him talk.
He's responsible.
I speak up out loud and say, just hold. Keep asking him questions. It's fine. I'm just trying to memorize, remember all these details so I can share it with him later. But at this point, I don't want to completely reveal that this is happening to Thomas.
Right.
I got a flask full of oil and some matches.
Let's
How
go
do
with
you
that
have oil?
as.
Or are you trying to make him believe?
I don't know. I have a flask of oil in my adventuring gear, unless it was taken away.
It was taken
I
away.
didn't have any. Okay. All right.
Sorry.
I don't have that.
I liked the intimidation effect of it, though.
If you want to say it out loud and say you have that,
Yeah, I'll say that out loud.
make an intimidation check with advantage.
Come on, intimidation. All my rolls been really bad. That's a 19. That's a 15. Look at me go.
19 will do it. So he goes, fine. Just get out of my head, Jesus. Look, they said they're from the underground. They told me I could get my wife out of the keep. You don't understand. I think she's in danger. I think all of them are. There have been more and more of the cloak servants walking through the city, and I just want to get us out. These fucking regents aren't the same people they were a year ago. They're demanding more work from us. And these underground told us they could help change things. I don't know what happened to Daru after we took him to the alley. I wasn't part of that.
Well, he's dead. And that's on your conscience. And you will be paying for that.
He's dead?
They've played you as a fool. You are now partisan to this crime. We didn't come looking for you for our health. We came looking for you because you're an accomplice to that man's murder.
Well, good riddance to him and all the fucking guard. It's about time they paid.
And you will be paying as well. You are in violation of the law. You are responsible for an innocent man's murder. You will see trial. You will face justice.
Trial.
If you
right.
Edmund, there might be more. There might be more to this that we can. What he's saying, if true, means that the infiltration isn't out here. It isn't the underground. It's within.
I think we all had that suspicion.
But if we hand him over, they cover this all up. You say they're playing him. I think we're being played. Not necessarily by the Viceroy. But I think we will be being used as a tool to tie up a loose end here. This loose end exposes everything.
What is there to expose, though?
The fact that from what he just said, they're not the same regions. They're not the same authority. There is a deceit at work beneath the surface. We turn him over, he becomes a scapegoat. It all goes away.
So what is your suggestion, my friend?
Well, we could hide him away.
He
I
won't
know
stay.
people.
He
I
won't
know
stay
people.
put.
Oh no, he won't have a choice.
What more does he have to offer?
I don't know. But so long as he's not in their grasp, they fear him. They don't know what he knows, but they silence him and it all goes away. And even if he doesn't know anything, they don't know that, we can utilize that. Maybe we can expose these. My only suggestion is to hide him away, go to the Viceroy, talk to him in confidence and see what we can. See what he can. Maybe we can reach out to our own factions and see what we can get.
So we hold him prisoner. That's a term that's we can use for now.
Sure. He'll be a prisoner anyway.
He apparently doesn't know much of anything else at this point, which is okay.
It's more for his safekeeping at this point.
But we have his word and the word of this underground that there's corruption that none of us have seen in our time here. They could completely be forthright and on the level and know more than we do. Or, again, they may be using propaganda to further their agenda. I'm not from here, nor are any of you. So there's no way for us to know in the short amount of time that we've been able to observe what's going on here.
Keeneth, make a history check, because you actually have been here a while. Not 20 years a while, but a while.
I am guidance as well. Whew. That's a 18, 19 without the guidance.
Well, that guidance, get over that 20. 22.
That'll do. A dirty
22.
22 is great. So as you guys are talking, you're talking about the underground and the corruption of the city. You have seen, you've heard the rumors, you've heard people talk about how the underground is to blame, but from what you've seen in the past of what the underground tends to do outside of the city and other cities, other than the 20 years ago in Bluemore incident, it doesn't quite fit the MO, at least from your understanding. Maybe they've become more aggressive, but this doesn't feel correct. At least of what you've heard in the passings of news that comes through Diarden occasionally, and talking to your followers of Twila as they come through and share this sort of gossip with you.
Right. I pull Edmund aside so that
don't stab him while we're gone. I walk with him.
Just to try and make it so that Thomas can't fully hear us.
Fine.
Thank you.
Edmund, this is not the Underground's doing. This is not how they operate. This is something else.
What isn't the Underground's doing? The method that he was sent forth?
All of this. They're not assassins. This isn't how they work. This is not what they do. When groups are afraid, they find the easiest path. And being that the Underground is quiet, they work from the dark. It's assumed that they are dark, that their deeds are dark. This is not how the Underground works. They are not assassins.
So do you feel this is another organization claiming to be the Underground, trying to discredit them? Or do you feel that this is the corruption from within?
Could be both. More likely the corruption within, but the corruption within could easily be being influenced by another faction, another party, completely outside. Could be from another realm, but this is not the Underground.
Uh, I look back towards Thomas and Shelton. I am going to use Divine Sense.
Okay.
I can detect good and evil, and until the end of your turn, you can sense anything affected by the Hollow spell, and know the location of any celestial fiend and undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
Huh.
Shelton lights up like a Christmas tree.
I
wondered
got to
if
turn
that
undead.
I turn undead too. Destroy evil.
So what you doing over there?
Neither of them are good or evil.
I'll let Shelton just decide that. But Thomas doesn't. Oh, he's not overflowing with good or evil energy. A little more good, but definitely not like destroy the world, man. Sort of thing.
But he's not evil.
No.
I am neutral.
Okay. I look confused. I shake my head. I punch myself in the head. Must be the smoke in here. Why would Shelton be coming up as undead? I must be broken.
I must be broken.
I must be broken.
That's perfect. Clearly that spell didn't work.
Yeah, apparently there's some magical interference here. So I anti-metagamed. See what I did
While
there?
we're talking, I open up the tapestry.
Okay. So it started burning from the top down, and you see. I'm sorry, not from the top down, but from the bottom up. And you see that the bottom edges where that's all torn and frayed, it's like a third of it got burned. And you see hints of what looked to have been writing there, but it's so scorched and burnt down there that you can't quite tell. And it's like a 5 foot by 5 foot tapestry. But you see it looks like an architect's style of the map. That it has all the different districts, it has the major building points, it has how the pipes are all feeding from the center where the Zolnir Keep is out into the city and connecting to various ways, all the way out into the Laves and even beyond. It has the 3 major mine shaft entrances, a couple of smaller ones. It has where the refinery is, the orphanage is. It doesn't have certain newer churches that are in the city, but it definitely has the longer standing ones. So the Church of Aranon, it has the Twilla Church, it has a couple of others stationed around the districts. It has different layouts of the shops surrounding the Zolnir Keep that are in the Zolnir area. Not as many as there are now, but these are the more prestiged ones. Yeah, it looks like a major outline of the city.
Why were you trying to burn this, Thomas?
I wasn't trying to burn it. I had magic set up to burn it if I was to be killed, because if the bastards were going to come for me, which apparently you're not them, I was going to take this with me.
Who supplied you with that magic?
There's a lot of talented... he clams up for a second and then goes, there's a lot of talented folks in the Laves.
Why can I read his thoughts?
How long does that read thoughts last for?
Detect thoughts lasts for
I think it's a minute.
up to a minute.
So it's already
probably
dispelled
not.
at this point, so you can't read it.
Yep.
Thomas, you're not doing yourselves any favors here, and my friend here wants to give you the benefit of the doubt.
You're already taking me to jail. You've already signed my life away. What good is me saying anything to you at this point?
Now you're making assumptions.
You
As
said I
stated
was going
before,
to stage trial.
Shut your mouth. Listen to me. My friend is giving you the benefit of the doubt. I am not convinced yet. You're doing yourselves no favors in my eyes by the way you're handling things.
Is Thomas sitting or standing?
He is on his knees.
I take a knee and look at him square in the eye. Thomas, help us rid the corruption. Help us find these that are truly evil.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh, hell. That's not going to go well.
Heart of the cards, baby. You got this. Heart of the cards.
4. I had a 16.
Cards don't like you.
Cards hate me.
He looks at you and he shakes his head. I'm dead come tomorrow anyway. I won't ever see my wife. she's probably dead or going to be. There's nothing you can do for me. There's nothing I want from you.
Thomas, once again, my friend is giving you the benefit of the doubt. I want justice. I want what's right.
Make a persuasion roll with disadvantage.
Can I guidance him?
You can.
Woo!
The thing is, I'm a paladin, and I got that stuff. Oh, that was a nat 20, but 16
Plus
Hold on.
4.
plus 2, so 18.
18.
There you go.
All right. Keenup trying to soften him up and failing, but you coming in with all this. You did heal him. That did help a little bit. Obviously. He goes, there's a few out in the laves that can make this magic. It was in order to protect the tapestry itself and what they've been asking us to do with construction around the area. And he looks at he's like, can you lay that out on the ground real quick?
Of course, I do so. How big is this thing?
It's 5 by 5.
Oh, so not large at all. Okay.
5 feet by 5 feet.
That's pretty big.
That's pretty damn big. But yeah, sarcasm. Great.
I was thinking 30 by 30,
Oh.
like hanging across the whole ceiling or
No,
something.
no, this ain't that big a room. No. This is...
Yeah,
very
5 by
solid
5, that's...
thing.
Yeah.
You hear him say a phrase that is... I don't think... Do any of you speak Undercommon and Dwarvish?
Nope, for me.
Abyssal, Celestial, Infernal.
Okay.
So I might be able to pick up pieces of it, but not fully.
Okay. What about James? Or, sorry, Stelton.
I'm sorry, rephrase it.
Can you speak Dwarvish or Undercommon?
Nope.
Okay. So he says something, and all of a sudden, the tapestry lights up. It fades towards the base where it was burned. But this is what you see light up all around that tapestry. A series of runes and lines start to materialize in a bright blue glow, pulsing. You see various sigils of deities as well as other markings that you're not quite sure they are. You can roll an Arcana or an Intelligence roll if you like. Actually, roll an Arcana if you want to try to understand some of these other symbols. But some of them you recognize as deities.
Can I roll religion?
Yes, you could roll religion.
Thank you. 18.
I got a
Nat 20.
Which is a 19.
Minus 1.
Yeah, might as well. I'm not very smart.
Alright.
I'm not the smartest person.
Okay, so religion-wise, you automatically know that Patron is at the north, Matron, or Matronus, is to the west, Twyla's to the east. The other 3 symbols, even with those nat 20s, you don't know what they exactly represent. They look familiar, but none of you know what they are. And everything is written in a language you're not quite certain of, but it seems to be encircling each district. So the heaviest amount of runes and congregation of mentions of these patrons or these deities is around the Laves. It gets a little bit less towards the Dolo district, but certain areas where like the churches are, the orphanages, the inns specifically is much more thick. And then into the keep itself, there's almost nothing except for 7 basic runes there. But all the lines start to like get closer and closer as you come into the center, where the Zolan keep is. And Thomas looks at the map and goes, part of the laborers team, we've been told to inscribe these markings on certain landmarks for a supposed revolution. A time to change this.
What will those markings do?
I haven't the foggiest. I was just told to do it.
You just do what you're told without thinking about the consequences.
You would too if someone you loved was online. Or maybe you don't. I don't know how heartless you are.
You don't know how many people could be hurt by what you're doing. You don't know how many people are going to lose loved ones based on what you're doing.
I know if things continue as they are, everyone will lose.
Thomas, I don't like you.
The
And I
feeling's
like
mutual.
And I like many people.
I stab him now.
No. I looked at Kenneth. You have friends that will look after him, that will
I
hold
do.
him.
I do.
I walk and
need to get in touch with them.
How long will that take?
Well, my best way is via sending. Third level spell, by the way. And I could probably have that taken care of pretty easily. I've exhausted that magical resource in me.
Do we have a prison at the Church of Aranon?
You don't necessarily have a prison. Only the Zon Keep is allowed to have those. But you probably have like a cellar of some sort.
Like is there like a holding cell in there for the religious criminals, I guess?
Since you are a Church of Aranon and held in higher esteem, you would be allowed to have a holding place for criminals until members of the Zon Keep could collect.
All right. I looked at Kenneth. I'm like, we'll take him to my church. We have a holding facility. It'll give you time to contact your people, and we can watch over him. I stand up and I go into his bedroom, and I grab the sheet off the bed. I drape it over him.
I'm still on my knee before him. Thomas, let us help. Trust me. I will do everything that I can. I think if you can help us, I think that we can locate Becca. I think that we can get you out. But you need to help us. Right now, you are our best chance for uncovering what's happening.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Ian?
Do you still have guidance up, or was that on someone else?
No, that's my guidance.
Okay. Can you only use it once, or can you keep using it?
I can keep. Well, it's indefinite. It's at will, so I'm continuously casting it throughout this interrogation because I knew I was going to need these rolls.
Add that D4 to it.
16.
Okay. Through the sheet that has been draped over him, you see him visibly. You hear him sigh and his shoulders slump. Like the whole vision just kind of falls and goes, "If you can get her out, I'll do whatever you want me to do. But she needs to get out."
Me a favor, and I present. I lift up the sheet and I present my parchment and quill, and say, "Can you please write the command word for the tapestry?"
The unstabbed arm reaches out with a pen. Hopefully, you hold the paper or you put it on the ground for him. And
It's on the ground in front of him.
cool.
Go
ahead.
I cure wounds again.
Well, the knife is still in him. That's the problem.
I looked to Shelton. I'm like, Sheldon. I'm like, if you wouldn't mind removing your blade again, please. No more arterial spray.
He removes the blade gently,
I appreciate it. I cure wounds on him.
slowly, gently.
Slowly, delicately, like a lover.
And I, you know what? Can I stop Shelton or stop Edmund before he casts a spell?
Sure. I thought you were going to say stop, Sheldon. Jesus, you guys are monsters.
I want Shelton to do his thing. I want him to go ahead and remove that. That's fine. Well, that's good.
I can put it back in.
No. Nodding. Good job. Thumbs up. Way to go. You're the best boy. But what I want to do instead...
You're not a zombie, are you? No, I don't ask that. Just
why were you glowing?
Sense.
So what I'm going to do is I am going to I'm going to hold my symbol up, and I cast Twilight Sanctuary.
What does that do? Let everyone know. Reader's Digest version.
What it does basically is a sphere of 30 in a 30-foot radius is filled with dim light around me. And being as it's my subclass, which I have just exposed to the two of you, I have the ability to basically heal temporary hit points to anyone within it, and it follows with me. So it's kind of a nice little bonus of the Twilight subclass.
So roll a d6 to see how much health he gets back. Or temp?
2.
2? Perfect. The bleeding...
Well, wait a minute. Sorry, no, it's not a d6. For me, it's a d6 plus 8, so it's 10.
Perfect. The wound closes on the shoulder. He looks at you and kind of just nods. He finishes writing down the power word for the tapestry. It is a mix of dwarvish and uncommon, or undercommon. Kind of the local slang of the city.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That's good to know.
By the way, Becca is that servant you were with. I recognize her voice in here. That is her.
What was that?
He's saying to you as you heal him, and since you've promised to help, he said, Becca is that servant that was with you. I'd know her voice anywhere. That has to be her. And why she does not recognize me, I don't know.
Which servant?
The one that led us to the keep that day.
That's what I was wondering. Okay.
Earlier today.
Yep.
As it seems like
This
it's
day's going on forever.
Yeah.
By the way, it is definitely like nighttime now. The Jade Knight crystal that's in the room that's kind of sitted and damaged is turning blue. Is blue.
Once he's written that down, I put the sheet over him. I'm like, so people don't see you.
I feel so protected.
But it's a thin sheet.
Like, you're safer with us than you'd be on your own.
He doesn't make a comment, but you could definitely tell by the way the sheet turns and looks at you that he definitely has a thought or two of that, but...
I yoke him up to his feet. Again, you brought this on yourself, and I give him a light shove forward. The stairs are 3 feet in front of you. And let's escort him to the Church of Aranon.
Are you going just down the streets? Are you taking side paths? What are you doing?
Again, we're not super I'm not super familiar with this place. So I'm just going to take the most direct route.
I guide him as best I can, utilizing the tapestry as a mini map and my knowledge of the streets.
Perfect. Make I guess are you guys trying to be stealthy or no?
Survival?
I guess? Yeah, survival would be the one actually. Everyone can roll this, but so.
How about that?
24. That's a
24.
That's a great survival. All right, you start making your way towards the Church of Aranon in the Dolo district. Taking bypasses, it seems like, trying to not stick too much into the main streets that are definitely quieted down and are full of clockwork soldiers patrolling and a lot more watchers than normal. And that's where we're going to call it.
Wow.
Thank you, everyone, so much for joining Dorks Are Dangerous. My name is Kaylee, your DM. We'll pick this up again next week. Say bye, cast of players.
Whoa! You need to calm down. We got things to do. We got things to talk about.
I was going to let you say bye first. God.
No. We say goodbye at the end. You're not like bye, and then and by the way.
But that's how I always do that. I always do that.
Well, we need to work on that. It's fine. It's your first time. We're good.
Okay, your character's gonna die. That's good.
That's
I
great.
think she did the best job out of any jobs that I've ever been bested.
Take an inspiration there, James, because I'm petty.
Wow. Dear Crit Crab, our DM is petty.
Yes, Johnny, why don't you tell us what we gotta do here?
Well, I just wanted to say, if you enjoyed what you heard, feel free to support us on Patreon. You just do that little search for Patreon for Dorks Are Dangerous, and you can support us at whatever level you are financially willing to do. And as a result, you may get a shout out on the end of these shows, like for Galashank, for Farlorn, for Kaylee-Ann, and for Jay, that are our subscribers at the appropriate tier levels. You can also support us on Facebook by giving us a like, the same with on Instagram, where you can see some of Kaylee's cool artwork and arts and crafts that she's been doing lately for her tabletop game and things like that.
Also, all our cute pets and animals, please go and check those out. They're adorable. Okay, now can I do the thing, Johnny?
No, no, no. Does anyone, James, have anything that they need to shout out to? Like any projects they're working on? James?
Any projects I'm working on, other than just my normal socials, all can be met at Sunnyside James for all across the board, especially TikTok.
And you do a bunch of one-shots on Twitch, is it?
I do one-shots on Twitch, and then I also have a reoccurring campaign on Mondays, every Monday and Fridays at 8:30 Eastern time on my Twitch, also Sunnyside James.
Is it just Sunnyside James then?
Yep, just Sunnyside James.
So if you like what you've heard from Sunnyside James on our show, check out his live streams on Twitch and give him some support and some love.
Do you think I'm cruel to NPCs as a player? You should see me as a DM.
Speaking of which, Dave does play in some of those one-shots. Dave, you have anything you want to plug?
No, just James' stuff and this stuff. These are my things. These two things are my things. So I'm covered.
Those are two good things to have.
They're the
Not
bestest
gonna
things.
lie. They're the bestest things.
Bestest of best.
Now you can do it.
Now that I've been granted the privilege, all right.
Now's the right time to do it. Now you're Gucci.
Okay. And remember, everyone. Wow, that her words. And remember, everyone. Dorks are dangerous.
We haven't said goodbye now. See, you're jumping the gun for Johnny Patches.
For Bruce.
Bye.
And remember, everybody. Dorks
For
are dangerous.
Dave and Sunnyside James and our DM Kaylee. Everyone have a great upcoming holiday. We'll see you next week. And remember, dorks are dangerous. Bye.
Yes.
I hate all of you. I need new friends.